So, you guys ready for our first topic?
Ready.
I'm prepped.
Okay, great. This has been going around the internet. I kind of want to say throw the name away because he may mean different things to different people, but just consider the action. So last week or so, Lil Wayne he sold his masters to Universal Music Group for $100 million, and I've seen every opinion under the sun. And I wanted to grab your guys' opinion about this move. Is it wise? Is it not wise? What do you guys think?
What is the benefit of selling your masters?
A lump sum of cash,
Just just the cash.
just the cash. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, like, we don't know contractually if he has any points on it still, because you could sell it and still receive residual payments from the music, but the person that owns it receives the majority of it, or I've read that he may have sold his masters but he didn't sell his publishing. So now he just no longer owns his music. I did read somewhere that like, if UMG decides they don't want him to perform the music anymore, he has to do what they say. But yeah, it is pretty much hit the IP or his product from way back when up until perhaps present day, that he gave up the rights to his music for a large check of $100 million.
Ooh.
Or maybe not so large.
Why did he do this?
I was gonna ask that too.
Well, I don't know if you guys keep up with music, but this year has been the year of selling my masters. I want to say for the past 10 years, it's always been I bought my masters back. Chris Brown bought his masters back. Sierra's husband, Russell Wilson, bought her masters back on her birthday. I think Swiss Beats, I want to say, bought Alicia Keys' masters back for her. That may or may not be true. But up until this year, there have been these somewhat secretive, shady, let me not say shady, secretive um, um, firms, private equity firms, that have been overpaying artists for their masters. And it's been from hip hop to country to rock across the board. I think even Paul Newman might have just sold his master. Everybody is selling masters, and it's been reported that everybody's getting a sizable check, like way more than what it's worth, to these equity firms. Like, I know Ella Reid is a part of one, and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
Weren't we just talking about T Swizzle's
I was gonna
masters?
say, isn't she trying to buy her masters back?
So
Right?
she's trying to buy her masters back, but of course, they just got sold to a private equity firm for 300 million. No, no, more than 300 million dollars. Some people are speculating it's about 420 million dollars over to Scooter Braun.
Right.
Mm. Speaking
Now, do we
of,
think that T Swizzle's masters are worth more than Lil Wayne's masters?
I
Because
think
Lil Wayne
so.
only got 100 mil.
T Swift is,
um,
I think, a way bigger star than Lil Wayne.
Okay, all right.
And that's
Oh.
I'm not a T Swift. I'm not a Swiftier. Swifty?
I'm a
Swifter?
Swifty. I don't, but I don't know if I would agree with that.
I think current day. So
Yeah.
I guess here's my opinion. I think that all of these products are depreciating assets. So every day that they're out, they're just valued less and less and less. So Lil Wayne's reign over hip hop was mid 2000s up until maybe 2012 ish, 2013. So for 8 years, yes, he's been on big songs, but he hasn't been where Taylor Swift is, or where Drake is, or where some of these other new guys are right now. So to me, it makes sense that Taylor Swift is her music is worth 400 or more $1 million, because she is a current act that is putting out. She put out 2 albums this year. I heard half of them, and I don't even listen to Taylor Swift. I don't even know
Yeah.
how I heard half of that album, but I heard it. And I think if Lil Wayne puts out an album this year, aside from Carter 5, which I don't know how it did 500,000 first week, but the one after that only did like 100,000. Taylor Swift is doing a million first week for sure.
Mhm.
She does get the drop off though. The next week it will go down to 100,000, 150,000. That first week is she's guaranteeing that 100 million or that 1 million in sales.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see how current day hers are more expensive than Lil Wayne. I know that Kanye said that his are worth about $300 million. His old catalog is still kind of in play today. So I can see how that plays out, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it was a very smart move for several different reasons. I think, you own your masters. We're in the streaming age. Sure, people are streaming your music more, but you have to stream an album, or I believe, an album 2,600 times for it to count as one sale. And I don't know how many people are streaming Lil Wayne's albums when he is a mixtape artist. Most of his huge hits came off of these mixtapes that he did of other people's music. So as he's selling his professional catalog, not the mixtape stuff, maybe, I can see that he's looking at the numbers saying, okay, I get paid X amount of dollars every month or every quarter from these songs. Like Joe Budden said in his podcast, he made an album called Rage, and he gets paid $1,500 every month off of that. Lil Wayne is a way bigger artist, which means I'm sure he has way more expenses. So I think he was looking at them numbers and we're like, okay, if we continue doing this, you can just account for depreciation a year from now. If he's getting $10,000 every single month, next year he'll probably start getting $9,000 every single month. And then the year after that, maybe $8,000. And then so he's looking at it saying, for me to make $100 million off of these songs, I probably would have to wait 50 years. So he could have just taken that $100 million, split it however way he needed to, and he gets 50 million. That is that's an amount of money that can grow exponentially somewhat quickly if he were to invest in something else that could give him ownership. We haven't heard of Chamillionaire in X amount of years, but he is off tripling and quadrupling his worth in San Francisco. You know what I'm talking about, the tech capital of the world, Silicon Valley.
Oh, Silicon Valley.
He's been just growing his wealth in Silicon Valley quietly off of the money he made on like 3 songs. What are Chamillionaire songs again? They See Me Rolling. What else?
Riding Dirty.
Riding Dirty. Is that the same song? They See Me Rolling.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's one song. And he got like 2 other songs, right?
See, he's on a Sierra track.
I just know Riding Dirty.
I know he got
only because I know that album really well, but
he got one other one. But you can see he got a couple of his songs got up on out of here, and and I honestly don't think that the music industry is designed for you to make money off of it for a very very long time, unless you catch a few mega hits and then you're paid forever. What do you guys think?
That was a fair deal. Smart move on his part. I mean, if you put it in that way, he has to wait like 50 years to make what he just made.
I don't know that for sure, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I would consider that make sense, especially nowadays. But I think as long as he still has points on some of his music, I think he should still be okay. I'm
sure he'll be fine. I'm also taking into consideration that he just pled guilty for that gun charge. And
oh, really?
He just pled guilty for the gun charge. And I think, I don't know if you guys know this, but when Gucci Mane went to prison, he gave his money to Keisha Kayor, and I think he gave her like $500,000 when he came out. She had $5 million for him, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think that Lil Wayne could take that large lump sum of cash and just be like, all right, let me not sit on a couple monthly checks. I could give these guys the money. He himself is a huge expense. If he's going to be sitting in a cell for a long time, that cuts the cost of the Lil Wayne LLC per se. And they could just take that money and just throw it in tech, throw it in real estate, throw it in whatever. That way, when he comes out, he's sitting on way more money than he would have if he was just sitting on them residual checks. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like he was thinking more about the future, not necessarily about, like, he was cashing out. And I know he was probably like, well, I am a mixtape artist, so I don't necessarily need to own these masters anymore. You know, I want to cash out for the future. And with the gun charge.
Let me not be disrespectful though. Lil Wayne has been on some of the hottest, biggest songs of all time, radio records too.
Yeah.
You know, but his true big songs that we all used to jive with was the mixtapes. You know,
Right.
but I don't want to say he's not a pop artist too, because he definitely was on the
Yeah,
radio.
totally.
Crazy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Miss Officer?
That was it for you?
That was it. It's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
The 9th grade.
I was in the ninth grade singing it, not knowing what the fuck it was about.
I knew what it was about. I didn't know what it was about for me, but I was like, yeah, the officer clearly wants to arrest him. But yeah, okay, that's my take on Lil Wayne. You guys, nothing.
That's my take on it. Not a big take, but
Smart man.
Smart man. Was he underpaid? In your head, in your eyes?
That's a hell of a perspective. You know what I mean? But I guess for all of his hits, which are many, I guess I would say like relative to what? Because you guys just said he's not a big a star as someone like Taylor Swift. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if he was underpaid. I don't think so. Based on that argument, I would say no, he's not underpaid. But also, it's $100 million.
Right. I'm like,
but you gotta
sounds
remember.
Good to me.
You gotta remember, you know, us as actors. How many times have you gotten that SAG day rate, whatever, and then the money comes in, you got to split it with your agent. Your agent wants the gross, not the net. You got to pay tax. I don't know if you got a manager. You know, when it's all said and done, you pretty much getting maybe 45% of the money.
You're getting $2.
Yeah.
You know, not $2.
Buy yourself a Happy Meal.
So, I mean, 50 mil is still a good payout, but I don't know for how much work he's done over, 20 years?
20 plus, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know that I would have sold my
entire catalog.
Yeah.
Hottest songs.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, maybe not an immediate payout, but that's a little bit of security for the rest of your life.
Some people do say that, you know, that he pretty much took the money out of his kids' pockets. But again, that goes back to me saying the music is not all he is. Like I said with Chameleon, he could have went over there, created some, you know, some app that, I don't know, here's a great example. Nas, one of the more celebrated rappers, he made a bulk of his money in tech, right? He invested in Bevel, which is not tech, but he also invested in the Ring app. And I think that his cut when they had sold it, it was something like $35 million. And he wasn't worth that before, you know, and he was already a pretty big star. So I think that it's all perspective. You know, I understand that the music check looks nice right then and there, but that's just also, what do they call that? A low-hanging fruit, where it's like, okay, if you just play your cards right and you do a little research on what's coming up next, you know, like Shaq, back in the day when Shaq was in that hotel and somebody came up to him, started talking to him, invited him to that boardroom, and he became one of the early principal investors in Google. Can you imagine how much money Shaq has from Google that he never got from playing basketball? You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it.
Yeah.